I don't think this is going to be a very long video, but I told myself that I was going to share everything. So as you can probably tell by the title of this video, our second IUI was successful. However, I am no longer pregnant. I have now had my second chemical pregnancy or early miscarriage. It was definitely a tough pill to swallow because this is the second time back to back. I think naturally you invest a lot of emotions, time, everything. I'm getting chills as I'm talking about it. I'll link my beta 1 and 2 right here if you want to go watch that video, but essentially my levels were really low initially, and so my doctor wanted to monitor them and keep an eye on them to make sure that they rise accordingly. So my third beta actually came back at 108, which was really promising. That's the highest it's been for me, even considering last cycle. So I thought that was really promising. I was definitely having symptoms. I was getting like cramps, and my breasts were extremely tender, and so I felt as though, Michael and I both felt as though this was the one that was going to stick. So that third beta was done on a Monday, and then they wanted me to come back on the Wednesday, but I had an appointment, so I came back on Thursday before leaving for the weekend. And so I was hoping for my HCG levels at that point to be at least 325, 350 at the very least. I finally got my levels back. They actually didn't get back to me that Thursday. They got back to me on the Friday. So we were on our way to Arizona when we got the phone call, but essentially my levels had gone from 108 to 168. I was trying to stay optimistic and positive and be like, well, at least they rose, you know, they're not going down. So they're going up, they're still going up. So that's kind of what we were telling ourselves. But by that Saturday, I no longer had cramps. My breasts were not tender anymore. That was really concerning for me. And you know your body, you know? And on that Sunday, on Mother's Day, we went to breakfast with a few of our friends. And I even told her, like, I don't know, I'm getting nervous because my symptoms have gone away, and considering that my levels weren't rising very much, I was internally concerned. And sure enough, by that evening, we got home at about 3 or 4 p.m. and I went to the bathroom and I started bleeding a significant amount. It was just tough, especially on Mother's Day. I was like, why did it have to be today? So that was really difficult for us. I don't know, it was really tough to accept once, but to have it happen twice back to back, it's just, it doesn't get any easier. Michael, look, I don't want to cry. Michael's really been my rock through all of it. Fuck. I really didn't think I was gonna cry because I've allowed myself to have like my tough days, and that was that Sunday on Mother's Day, and then the following Monday I was really down in the dumps too. But on Tuesday, you know, Michael went to work, I got up out of bed, and I was like, okay, I'm not gonna stay stuck in this because nothing I can do will change this outcome, and it just is what it is. And so I have dealt with my emotions, and I haven't really cried since, and so I'm surprised. That's all, that I'm still really emotional about it. But it doesn't get easier, but I can't stress enough the importance of having a supportive partner and someone that will just be your rock, because without Michael, I wouldn't be able to go through all of this, truthfully. But, you know, it's just as hard for him as it is for me. That Tuesday, he was really down in the dumps, and you know, he was being my rock on Sunday and Monday, but on Tuesday I think it hit him. His emotions were kind of all over the place, and so it's difficult. It's just because it's happening in my body, it doesn't mean it's not happening to your partner as well, whether that be a male or female. So Michael and I had a discussion about what we would like to do moving forward, and we know there's going to be a point where we're going to need a breather. I feel like we're almost there, but we did talk about it. We are all in. We want to do a third IUI. And so I emailed my doctor, you know, after I started bleeding, and I said, hey, listen, I just started bleeding. Obviously, I was supposed to have blood work that following Monday after Mother's Day. And obviously I had started bleeding, so I was like, you're probably not gonna want me to come in. And so they essentially said, okay, why don't you go in on Wednesday, have another beta done to make sure that your HCG levels are going down appropriately before we plan your next IUI cycle. I went in on Wednesday and my levels came back at a 10, so they weren't exactly lowered to the point. I think they wanted it to be 5 or lower in order for us to do IUI this cycle. But because they were still at a 10, the doctor said we're already a little bit into her cycle, so why don't we skip this one and wait until next month? Quite honestly, I think it's a blessing in disguise. I think that we were willing to do a third IUI, but I think this 1 month off is going to be good for us. I think just as a couple, it would be nice to, not to say that we weren't relaxed before, but it's just a lot of appointments, a lot of expectations, a lot of invested emotions, and I think having like 4 weeks off is gonna be really nice for us. And so that is what's happening. That's kind of the update. Not the outcome we wanted, but it is what it is, and we are making the best of it. To be completely honest, we are going to Canada at the end of this month, so I'm not entirely sure that that wouldn't have interfered with our IUI cycle anyways, so it's kind of a blessing in disguise. I think it'll be nice for us to just take a breather, and you don't realize how much it affects you. Even now, like, I'm still surprised that I'm getting emotional. I didn't realize that it was still so fresh for me, even though it just happened, but you know, you think you deal with it and then it kind of hits you, it surprises you. So, and to those of you that are dealing with similar situations or worse, I understand you, and I feel, why am I crying? I have so much respect for women out there that have experienced things like this or worse. My heart goes out to all the women out there struggling. It really does. For me, I wasn't calling this a chemical pregnancy. I was calling this a miscarriage because that's what it was to me. The amount of bleeding, the amount of cramps, and the emotional investment and the time, you know, to us, we were pregnant. We were already picturing and planning our future with this baby. And so it was a loss for us yet again. So it doesn't get easier. It's definitely still difficult. And my heart goes out to all the women out there. I pray for women out there every day that are going through infertility and terrible experiences like this. So thank you guys for watching. I really wished that this video was different and that I had better news, but this is our reality, and we are going to come out of this stronger. And when our baby is here, it will all be worth it, and the same for you. So my heart goes out to you. If you're experiencing something similar, feel free to comment, reach out, subscribe. I am sympathetic and empathetic towards you, and this is a safe space. So I love you all. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye.